Greetings. Module 3 notes. I wanted to make a short video about assessment example 1. And just to give you all some background, the early childhood elementary folks will gravitate toward understanding this assessment a little bit quicker, but basically when a student of any age has a reading disorder or reading difficulty, be it other than neurological and auditory, 80% of those students who have a experience reading difficulty, the basis for that difficulty is the phonological processor, is their lack of phonological awareness, which is a fancy way of saying sound discrimination. Now, outside of this, what I want you to focus on in looking at this assessment is how does it enable teachers to make decisions minute by minute, day by day. Think about the results from an assessment such as this. Would it inform policymakers to make decisions about reading programs? Would it inform teachers in the midst of classroom instruction? And so not all assessments can do all things. And that's why when we look at like the IQ test and we think, well, what does that tell us about this kid? What am I going to teach this child right now? Well, the IQ test doesn't contain validity for us to make inferences from scores from it in that manner. But that doesn't mean that an IQ test is not valid for another appropriate purpose. So it's really the way we assign validity, and we have to respect the complexity of validity. So two things here. Number one, and I see already we have three of our folks who have wonderfully used words like development and milestones, and so they're immediately comfortable with the developmental framework of this, looking at this assessment. But what I want you to think about are how can an assessment help the teacher make decisions that are highly specified. The specificity of your educational objectives, in other words, your ability to miniaturize instruction for any learner in any subject, is the degree that you can miniaturize that instruction for that person struggling to understand something. It kind of gets at Vygotsky, but it's more than that. When you can increase your ability to be specific about meeting instructional objectives, and you can then break them down into sub skills, now you're really getting somewhere. And of course, remember, this isn't, in this example, we're not dealing with social studies concepts, such as let's take an advanced one we might do with 12th graders in ideology and political processes. What makes someone ideologically left? What makes them moderate? What makes them to the right? Those are deep ideas, major concepts. This assessment example 1 is isolating a sub-skill for the purpose of helping struggling readers. Okay, so it's a very finite, specific example. But that doesn't mean for that social studies unit you couldn't also have an assessment that addresses the baby steps that a super smart 12th grader needs to take before they get to understanding that concept of ideology and political science. That's just a hypothetical example. So I hope this helps, and I look forward to your writing in Module 3.